in TORAH today we won't be able to record it on video, but we're going to record in the audio and post it. So Chavdal, he continues speaking about Hilchot Tzitzit, how the Ari Kadosh used to make his tzitzit, what he used to do with tzitzit. So remember, we learned, we're gonna start from Chavdal. Over here, this is more of a, Chav Gimel is more of a technical one. If you make two holes in the tzitzit, one hole, how would my Rebbe do it? So we're not over here making tzitziot. I mean, the beged of the tzitzit. But Chavdal is interesting. Just to review, remember he said the tzitzit, the talit katan is the or makif of bichinat ha-katnut. When the partsuf of za, it's bichinat katnut, right? So therefore, tzitzit katan always has to be on the inside, not on the outside. That's why all the Sfaradim always wear the tzitzit on the inside, right? Including the strings. Some want to say, no, just the beged has to be on the inside, the strings could be on the outside. But according to the pshat, we see, Mufurash and the Ari, the talit is a bichinat mochin de katnut. It's the tzitzit of za, it's the or makif when he's bekatnut, when the partsuf is small. Then when he gets begadlut, obviously the katnut goes inside the gadlut. It doesn't go on the outside of the gadlut. So therefore, the tzitzit katan always has to be on the inside of a person, not on the outside. Maybe b'svara, you could say when a kid is wearing tzitzit when he's younger, you could let him wear it on the outside. B'svara, you could say that, even though svara in the words of the Ari is very dangerous, because you can't make up your own pshetlach, right? But talit gadol is for sure or makif, that you have to wear on the outside of one's body. And we learned last week that the or makif that you wear, you have to do katifat yishmaelim, right? So the Sfaradim, pardon me, when we do it, we take from the left, and then we go with the right? Then we wait 4 hours. It's called atifat yishmaelim. I think by the Ashkenazim, they actually cover their face too, right? When they do the talit. But by us, we don't cover our face. We have to make our face shown. It's called atifat yishmaelim. Like Rabbeinu Saadia.
Cover
the whole thing you do, yeah. We don't do that. We bedafka our megala our face. Bedafka. Alright? So he's gonna talk about it right now. So in Chavdalet, Siman Seif Kad, number 24, Gam tzarich lechasot hatfilin shebarosh betalit. It's very important when you wear your talis, says the Ari, you have to cover your tefillin with the talit. Ubinyan talit, so it's dafka talit, right? It's not a kippah or a hat or something. It's dafka talit has to cover your tefillin, because the or makif must cover on top of the tefillin too. Ubinyan talit hagadol noda inyan atifat harosh ma she'en ken talit katan. Talit gadol bedafka has to cover the head, but never the talit katan. Talit katan should never cover one's head.
That's only when you wear tefillin or Shabbat and Yom Tov too?
On Shabbat and Yom Tov, he's going to talk about it right now. It has to always cover the head when you're davening. At least when you're davening. Huh?
You can't do a hat.
If you wear a hat, you have to cover your talit on top of the hat.
Is that the whole tefillah or just Shmona Esrei?
So, for people that it's hard to do, at least on Shmona Esrei, you should cover it, right? But the medakdikim cover their heads the whole tefillah with their talit, which is the 100% way to lechatchila to do it, according to the Ari.
You do that?
No, I can't. I have a very sensitive head, so I only cover it on Shmona Esrei. I try, at least. Morizal, כשהיה לובש טלית קטן ביום, כשהיה יוצא בית המרחץ ובית תפילה כיוצא בזה, היה נוהג לעטף ראשו בו ממש, והיה מברך, turn the page, להתעטף בציצית, ואחר כך היה שומתו מעל ראשו, מוריד על בית כתפיו כדרך לבישתו. So he says when the Ari HaKadosh used to come out of the Tvila b'mikveh, he used to take off his talis, obviously. Which talis? Talit katan. And also in the morning, let's see again, וגם כשהיה יוצא במרחץ, when he used to come out of the Beit HaMerchatz, when he come out of the bathhouse, or when he used to come out of Beit HaTvila. Right? And this is during the day, not during the night. Why not during the night? The night, obviously, he would keep his talit katan on. He would never take off his talit katan, the Ari. He always used to have it on him. But during the day, if he needed to take it off to go to the bathhouse...
Mikveh at night?
Huh?
You would never go on mikveh at night?
I don't think so. I mean, we don't see any... Even if he would, he wouldn't say a bracha on the talit katan afterwards, because it's not zman talit. It's not zman talit katan anyways. The chiddush is that the Ari would make a bracha on his talit katan when he would wear it again during the day, if there was a sufficient hefsek a sufficient separation between the talit katan and going to the mikveh because there was a hefsek. Obviously, the Ari.
Do we do that?
We don't do that.
Why?
We don't do that because even though the Ari HaKadosh would do that, and he used to even do ha'atifah. That means he wouldn't just say al mitzvah tzitzit, and where he would actually say lit'atef b'tzitzit, and be mit'atef with it, and then wear it. But we don't do it.
Both bracha, both on the talit katan and both on the talit gadol, both the same the bracha.
So obviously, when he's coming out of the Beit HaMerchas, he would only wear talit katan.
But then later, when he would
Later on, he would wear talit gadol.
I would say the same
He
blessing.
would say, he would say lit'atef b'tzitzit, obviously.
Can I say bracha on each tzitzit that I wear? I can say another bracha.
You're wearing 4 tzitzit.
If I wear 4 tzitzit, I can say a bracha on each tzitzit.
Why are you wearing 4 tzitzit?
He's doing the same blessing on the talit katan.
Talit katan, because he made a hefsek. That's what he used to make at beracha. Talit gadol, it's only during tefillah he would wear it. Alright? So he would wake up in the morning. He doesn't say he would say the bracha on the talit katan when he wake up in the morning.
He would say
let'atef b'tzitzit, because he would actually do an atifa. That means he has a big tzitzit, size 26. Right? Round neck. Right? Ama al ama, with ama on both sides. It's a big talit. It's a big talit katan. You would do an atifa. That was his shita at least. That also by talit katan you do an atifa. Okay? So if he would make a hefsek, he would make a bracha on his talit katan. That's the way I see it. Okay? Let's see, maybe the Mefarshim say something over here. No, it doesn't. No, nobody mentions anything. Yeah. He would also make the bracha when he was actually inside the bathhouse. I'm sorry, in the tefillah house, in the mikvah. It's a good question. So he would. He would wear an undershirt, and then on top he would wear his talit katan. This is all eduyot of Chaim Vital, what he saw the Ari HaKadosh do. Shelo keotam hamityaharim, not like those who are mityaher. They have like they're trying to be extra. Lelovsho al kol begada v'taud gadol hu beyadam. It's a very big ta'ud.
To do what?
To wear your talis on top of your clothes. V'ta'ud hu beyadam. Hefech ha'emet. It's the opposite of the truth. Gam lo haya masir tefillin v'talit ad sheya gomer kol ha'tefillah ve'aleinu l'shabeach ve'al ken ekavelach. I never saw my Rebbe take off his talis and tefillin until he finished aleinu l'shabeach. Which means that there was sometimes that he would see his Rebbe take off his talit and tefillin. After aleinu l'shabeach, you would assume that maybe he would learn Torah with it. So I guess not all the time. Alright? Veda, ki ha'adam tzarich listakel b'tzitziyot b'chol sha'a v'rega. A person must always look at his tzitziyot. So this is the pshat. If his talit katan is inside of his clothing, so how is it possible for him to always look at his tzitziyot? So from here, Rav Yaakov Hillel says, this is a proof that when it says that Ari used to wear his talit katan, inside it was only the beged. But the tzitziyot itself, he would let dangle. So to be Mekayim, this thing that the person should always be able to look at his tzitziyot. He's making a difference.
Who's saying that he looked on the tzitziyot?
Over here, Leda, number 25, Seif 25. Da ki adam tzarich listakel betzitziyot bechol sha'a v'rega. It's always good to look at your tzitzit.
Right, so how do you look at it?
So how you look at it, it's inside, right? K'mo she'amar ha'katuv, uri'item, you should see them. V'hu to'elet gadol ha'neshama. Every time you look at your tzitzit, it was done b'kedusha or b'tahara, it's actually, you're causing a very big kedusha to your neshama. Shelo yizdamen chet le'ado. It actually also helps to stop yourself from doing averot. Im yizaher bekach, v'gam yasik to'elet gadol. You're also going to have a hasaga if you do it constantly. Aval b'kavanot ha'yistaklut yesh shtei kavanot. What kavana are you supposed to have when you look at your tzitzit? Ki ha'mistakel b'hem be'et tfilat shacharit b'kriyas shema. Da'inu k'shomer parashat tzitzit tzarich lekaven be'ofen acher. There's one kavana when you say uritem oto during the shema. אבל מסתכל בהם שלא בזמן התפילה צריך לכוון כוונה אחרת. It's different כוונה. דע, כי צריך להסתכל בית פעמים זו אחר זו, and actually when you look at them, when you say uritem oto, uzchartem, you gotta look at it twice. Ayin yamin, do the kavana. Ayin small, then do the kavana. Okay? He doesn't tell us the kavana. This book is not a book. Huh?
The one that's in the Siddur?
No, it's a different kavana.
So which one?
So if you give me the Sulam Aliyah Sidur.
Wait, so Avlad Kodesh that they have.
It has over there too.
Yeah.
Five havayot, five havayot. Right. What the Shacharit. Yeah. So the kavanah uri'item oto. Here it is. So first you have ayin yamin. Ayin yamin is going to be shem havaya beribua. Yud k vav k.
With Aleph.
Yeah, with the aleph. All right, and then you have 5 chasadim. All right, and then you do ayin semo. Why? This is going to be kal. Right, ribua shem havaya. Like this is going to be gematria ayin. Gematria ayin. Like you have also over here. Before you start the davening, let's say go before olam asiyah. You have the full shiur koma. So you have the shiur koma over here. So you see ayin yamin, right? So also 5. If you take 5 havaya, 26 times 5 is going to be 130. 130 is also gematria ayin, right?
How?
26 times 5. How much is it going to be?
130.
130. Ayin is how much? 70 plus 10, 80 plus 50, 130. 80 plus 50 is 130. Gematria ayin, right? So the koach of the ayin is actually 5 havayot. Okay, 5 havayot, 5 havayot. So that's the kavanah you're supposed to have, and you're supposed to mamshich kedusha to your eyes.
So you look with the right eye.
First you look with your right eye, do ayin yamin, 5 havayot. Then ayin small, 5 havayot. Then you do milui shem kana. Aleph K Yud K, just the milui. Lamed Fei Hey Vav Daled then Hey. Also gematria ayin. Okay. So that's the kavanah of uri'item oto. Okay. So if you just want to see the kavanah inside in Bnei Abba, look at Bnei Abba Chav Gimel. You see the Bnei Abba, Chaf Gimel. What's the kavana? Ma shetzarich lekaven hu ze ki ne ayin gematria kal. Right? Kuf lamed. 130. That's what the secret is. Da'atan shel nashim kala. They only have half a da'at. Because in your da'at you have 5 havayot, 5 havayot. A full da'at is going to be 130 times 2. 2 einayim. How much is 130 times 2? 260. Like it says by Moshe, Vayar Hashem kisar lirot. This is Moshe covered his face, but the word over there is sar. Sar mechresh, 260. That means he had a complete da'at. So only a person with a complete da'at, a balanced da'at, could be a go'el. Right? But for example, by Chava, we say by women, da'atan, she ate from etz ha'da'at, and she cut her da'at in half. Da'atan shel nashim kala. They don't have a right balance. You understand?
Yeah.
So one of the jobs of a man is to be mamshich the other 5 havayot to his spouse. And to complete her da'at.
How?
By zivug. Being together, yeah. By the zera. Alright? So gematria ribua shema kaze. So you see one kavanah of I. Something over there?
I think it's just the one.
Hu ribua shema kaze. Yud K vav K. That was the first kavanah we saw, correct? Ube'et shu mistakel yikaven ki hakanaf hu sod ekye b'milu yehin. Remember, it's the kana we saw over there? The kana, so the kanaf itself, where the tzitziot hang from, is gematria kanaf is 151. Right? 150 really, but imakol 151, also mikveh, right? That's the kanaf, which the tzitziot hang from. When you take out the ekye from the 151, yishaer gematria kal kemispar ayin. Correct? Like I showed you in the sefer, right? If you take out the ekye from the kana, you're going to be left with kal. Because 130 plus 21 is 151. 130 plus 21 ekya is 151. כאשר תסתכל בית...
Is it connected to the 130 years from Adam, or the 130 years?
Of course it's
from
connected.
Moshe?
Yeah, of course it's connected. וכאשר תסתכל בית פעמים רצופות, when you see it twice, יהיו בית פעמים קל, גמטריה ריש סמך שר. וזה סוד וירא השם, כי שר לראות. In last week's parasha. כי על ידי שר, the 260, 2 times עין הנזכר, הוא הרעות. ותכוון אל 10 הוויות פשוטות של החוג שעולים גמטריה שר. Also 10 times הוויה, 26 times 10 is also שר. עד כאן לשון שאר הכוונות בפנים. These are the words of שאר הכוונות inside. Okay, good? Very nice.
How is it connected?
Huh?
How is it connected?
What, by Moshe? So we said Moshe Rabbeinu, by not looking, by Hashem kisar lirot, he was mamshich the 10
Is the ayin
Havayot.
130 connected to Adam?
That's 130 years. That's exactly it. Where was he pogem? In the dot.
The 9?
The dot is connected to the einayim. All right. Okay, let's do one more. Then we'll do the. How many minutes we're on this? 6. Okay, let's do a couple of more. Inyan hatefillin. By tefillin, there's a lot of stuff to learn. Obviously, tefillin is one of the cornerstones of Jewish faith. Right? It's a very important mitzvah. Beseder ktivas tefillin. How do you write the seder of the tefillin? You have 4 parashiot in tefillin. Kadesh li, v'ya kiviyacha, Shema, and v'haya. What's the seder, huh?
Rashi.
That's Rashi. In Rabbeinu Tam, it's Kadesh li, v'haya, kiviyacha, v'haya im shamua, and then Shema. Correct? Havayot bahadade. The 2 havayas are in the middle. V'haya kiviyacha and v'haya im shamua, the 2 havayas are in the middle, and Shema is in the end.
I'm confused.
There's 4 parashiot in your tefillin. Kadesh li, right? Shema and v'haya. Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam have a machloket. What's the order they have to be in your tefillin? How do you learn the Gemara in Menachos?
Rashi says
the way it's written in the Torah. Kadesh v'haya, Shema and v'haya. Rabbeinu Tam says no. The Shema and the v'haya kivya and the v'haya im shamua switch their order around.
goes after
Shema goes to the end. Right? If I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not making a mistake.
So why don't we say with Rabbeinu Tam like it says over there?
What?
Why don't we say the Pashiot of
Like
Shema,
Rashi?
like Rabbeinu Tam when we wear Rabbeinu Tam?
We should read the Shema like that.
Sure.
Who says we have to read Shema when we wear tefillin?
We read the Dalet Pashiot.
Yeah, we don't
That's
read
it.
Kadesh li and Vayakev Yacha. It's just a minhag to read. It's not in the Shulchan Aruch.
Okay, you don't have to read Shema with Rabbeinu Tam also. Do
Yeah,
you?
exactly, you don't have to read it.
Why don't we read? Could we read it the opposite way?
What? The
First, Roya and Shema.
You have to read it the way it's written in the Torah. Now the question is, how come Rabbeinu Tam doesn't agree with Rashi? That's the real question you should be asking. The answer is because he learns the Gemara a bit differently. So there's a Gemara in Menachot that says you have to wear that, you have to write the tefillin in which order. So it says over there like 2 lines. Those 2 lines is the machloket. There's only 2 shitot over here. Then there's shitat Avad. I don't want to get into it. But if you want to see the halachot inside, you can find the sugya in Menachot. Okay? So it says over here, what's the seder of tefillin? Hine tchilat tzarich sheichtov tefillin shel rosh. When you're a sofer, first you always write tefillin shel rosh. V'itakenem legamre, you have to complete it completely. V'itparem, so you stitch it. V'yashchirem, and then you paint it in black. Achar kach yichtov tefillin shel yad v'itkanem v'yashchirem, and then only then you write tefillin shel yad. V'tzarich lizayer, and you have to be very careful. לכתוב כל הדלת פרשיות של ראש ושל יד רצופים יחד. You have to make sure when you write your tefillin shel rosh and shel Rashi, shel rosh and shel yad, make sure you write it in the same day. ולא יפסיק ביניהם בשום דיבור כלל. You're not allowed to even make a hefsek in speech between them. כל שכן בתם especially, and even more so while you're writing them. ואם הוא זקן הוא חולה ואינו יכול לכתוב כל הדעת פרשיות יחד. Let's say a person is sick and he's writing tefillin and he's in the middle. What should he do? He cannot finish the whole thing in one day. יכתוב ג' פרשיות הראשונות ביחד. You should write the first 3 parashiyot in one sitting, which is Kadesh v'Haya and Shema. אחר כך יכתוב הרביעית לבדה. And then write the 4th one on its own. On one tefillin. On the Rosh, let's say. ואם גם זה קשה עליו, יכתוב הכל פנים בית פרשיות הראשונות בלבד בלתי הפסק בינתיים בשום אופן, אחר כך כתוב בית פרשיות האחרונות לבד, at least write 2 and 2. והנה אם כתב בית פרשיות הראשונות והפסיק אחר כך כשיבוא לכתוב פרשת שמה, צריך שבתחילה יעביר הקולמוס בדיו ויכתוב על תיבת וידבר של פרשת קדש ועל תיבת והיה של פרשת שנייה. So he says like this, I don't want to make it too confusing here. So let's say I wrote the first 2 parashiyot. Then I had to stop. I wasn't feeling well. Now I have to write the parasha of Shema and V'haya. So before I write the parasha of Shema, I should take my pen and trace again on the first words of the first 2 parashiyot and then continue on the Shema. As if I'm making a continuation over here. You get what I'm saying? Maybe on the board. Go back, just trace the first word on the first 2 parashiyot, Kadesh, Veidaber and Kadesh, and V'haya and Ha'ikev and then write Shema. You get it?
No.
You have 4 parashiyot, right? Mm-hmm. He says you have to write all 4 in one sitting. You can't make a hefsek. Because if you make a hefsek, you have to at least write the first 3 and then the last one. And even this you can't do, write 2 and 2. This is, let's say you made a hefsek. You had to. Now you're coming to write the 3rd parasha, Shema. Because before you write Shema, trace the first word on the first 2 parashiyot. Retrace them. It's already written, but retrace them as if you're writing them again, and then continue the parasha of Shema. That way, it's like you're making a bridge, a continuation between all 5 parashiyot.
Loophole.
It's the Ariyah Kadosh was from Eliyahu Navi, man. Kadosh Ya'amer Lo. Kadosh Ya'amer Lo.
Everything we learn from that, we say that everything of that is from the Eliyahu Navi.
Emet la'amitut ha'inyan. En ala Ariyah Kadosh. En. There's nothing. You're gonna learn this safer.
There's gonna be some stuff you learned by himself. He had some own chidushim too. I'm not.
How could he have his own chidushim? How? It's impossible.
So he became crazy when the Navi came?
Well, first the Ariyah Kadosh. First of all, how old was he when he passed away?
38.
Correct.
People who learn with Eliyahu Navi can't have their own chidushim.
The Ariyah Kadosh never wrote anything. They say he wrote like this one kuntras. They say he wrote one kuntras. But whatever we have of his, so you should know one thing: we don't have all of his writings, or of Chaim Vital's writings. A lot of them were lost. All the Pirushim, the Zohar of the Ari, we don't have.
What's the 8 books and what is the other books?
Guys, you've been in Lashem for so long. You guys don't know how to answer that question.
The majority was lost, no?
Huh?
Majority was lost.
No, what's with the other books? Why did Ramai Papirush organize in these 8 books? And that's what Chaim obviously is talking out later, but there's other books too.
Such as?
Sefar Likutim. What's that? Is that just talking things from the Shmona Ashari?
No.
Or it's separate?
Separate.
So where was that found? That was digging up?
So first of all, you have to know what's the Seder. How do we have different Ketavim today? What are we allowed to learn? What are we not allowed to learn? Who wrote other books? What other books are reliable? You have to know what's the thing. Like another Mikubal will come and tell you, like this Rabbi Ohad Turjaman, that Nazir. He'll be like, no, you could learn everything. Whatever they say, Azara in the name of the Ari, in the name of the Rashash, that was just for the Rashash. If you want to learn in different books, let's say Emek HaMelech. There's a book called Emek HaMelech. Rav Naftali Hertz. Rav Naftali, I think Hertz Bachrach. Something like that. Emek HaMelech. All the stories of the Ari that we have come from this book. Almost all of them. All the weird stories, let's say. All the legendary stories. He wrote them. Rav Chaim HaKohen, the student of Rav Chaim Vital, says you're not allowed to touch this book.
Which was the name of the book?
Emek HaMelech. This book is, I can't even say what he says about it. It's B'cherem. Can't touch this book. This guy claims he learned with a student of the Ari, but this whole book is fake. Whoa, that's some pretty strong accusations. Now, I happen to own this book.
Of course you would.
And if you open the book, he speaks in the words of the Ari, this world, that world, but a lot of things seemingly contradict. You know what I mean? They contradict. The Rasha says that he swore, B'Shem Hashem, that he never opened up any book that wasn't written by Rav Chaim Vital. And when it says in Rav Chaim Vital's book that this book is for, this words are from, for example, one of the students, he skips it. It's not a real Masoret, he says.
I have the Shmona Sharim.
Shmona Sha'arim,
Meaning, copied from the real.
the Shmona Sha'arim was the books that Rav Chaim Vital didn't bury.
Sefer al-Kutim was buried?
I'm not sure if Sefer al-Likutim was part of Shmona Sha'arim. I'm not sure. But Shmona Sha'arim, for example, is Shara HaGdamot. Right? Shara HaMitzvot, Shara Psukim, Shara Mamarei Rashbi, Shara Gilgulim. This is the Shmona Sha'arim. Otzrat Chaim is not part of Shmona Sha'arim. Adam Yashar, Kilot Yaakov is not part of Shmona Sha'arim. Those books were found later by Rav Yaakov Tzemach. You understand? Those books were buried by Rav Chaim Vital. He seemingly didn't want them to be revealed. We don't know why. And then he also had a whole Pirush on the Zohar.
Where's that?
Chaim Vital, huh?
There
is a Pirush of his we have, but he wrote that in his early age. Then he has a Pirush later on that Rav Yaakov Tzemach found. Pirush on the whole Zohar. We don't have it anymore.
Holocaust?
How? Huh?
Where did it get lost?
We don't know. Oh, we know that the books that were transmitted later on, we don't have them. Then you have other Ketavim of other rabbis. Those were disseminated during Rav Chaim Vital's life. When he was very sick, his brother was paid a lot of money to sneak out the Ketavim from the house so they could be copied all in like 3 days. And a lot of those Ketavim are where we get the other sayings of the Ari, because when you copy something so fast, there's Ta'ut Sofer, is that like the whole thing that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, his Hilula, his Yortzai is on Lag BaOmer. It's all a mistake. It's a Ta'ut Sofer in the Pri Etz Chaim. It's literally one word, it's one letter, it's Ta'ut Sofer. It's a blatant Ta'ut Sofer. You see that it's a Ta'ut Sofer. Anybody who has half a brain, huh? In the Pri Etz Chaim, you see that it's a Ta'ut Sofer. So why do we celebrate it as a day of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai? Once a day has been tagged as the Hilul of a Tzaddik, it already go with it. It's definitely not the day of his Yortzai.
Maybe the day of he released this book.
Maybe. I don't know, but maybe.
Isn't that what we're celebrating? Because
Everybody celebrates the Yortzai of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai.
Hilula means celebration.
Okay, Hilullah is celebration with the passing of a Tzaddik usually. You can't deny the fact that everyone you think that is your side. You can't deny that fact.
Because you told us many times. That's why we know.
I'm saying what's the chemes is the benish. You're going to open up the Tuna, you're going to see he says it himself. It's not his your side. It's a Ta'ut Zofer. But all the Ketavim we have of the Rav Chaim Vital is all taught to Rav Chaim Vital in a year and 6 months.
A year and 10 months or 6 months?
6 months. The Rav Chaim, okay, maybe give or take a couple of, here and there. About a year and 6 months, about a year and a half, they say.
Don't your Rebbe say more?
Huh? Maybe a little bit more. But the fact that a human being could learn all of this in such a short amount of time, and he was only 28 years old.
My Meriva?
Rav Chaim Vital was 28.
And my Meriva?
Miriam. The waters of Miriam.
Miriam.
Many people drink the waters of Miriam. It's not magical waters. When the Ari HaKadosh gives you the waters of Miriam, then it comes, Rav Chaim Vital passed away when he was 78 years old. Mazala.
78 or 80?
78 he was. Mazala. 78th Avenue. Now you understand how come we live on 78th Avenue? Okay, so therefore there's a lot of history behind it. He's going to actually talk about it a little bit in the book Torah. I want to get into it. Let's just finish this chapter over here, so we can continue. Let's just finish this thing, okay? So we said this halacha. It's considered a little bit of a continuation. And if you wrote the first 3 parshiot, then you made a hefsek for the last one, then you should retrace the first 3 parshiot and then the first word only. Right? You have to say here, תצליחני בכתיבתי זאת שאני כותב תפילין אלו. You have to make a tefillah. This is the tefillah of the Ari HaKadosh. לשם קידושת מצוות תפילין שציוונו השם אלוקינו ותצילנו מטעות הכתיבה וטעות הכוונה. אמן כן יהי רצון וינו עם twice. אחר כך יתחיל לכתוב תכף עם כוונות הנ"ל. After you finish the tefillah, then the sofer is allowed to continue writing the tefillin. Okay, we're in Chav Bet. תוספת לשון. Right? We'll continue next week, okay? This is for the